I'm Jen, the maker behind Space for Sunflowers, and welcome to another weekend, another video. Oh boy, we're off to a good start. I'm gonna leave it in because you know what? It's real. So, welcome to another video. I am market prepping for my third weekend in a row of a market in the Raleigh area. So I am very much in the weeds, not in the weeds. That doesn't sound good to say I'm in the weeds. I'm very much in the flow of prepping for my markets and getting everything ready to go. I'm also gonna do things a little bit differently with this video because I found that the past few updates that I've been recording have all felt kind of the same, because it would be like, okay, market recap, here's what I made since the market between the end of the market and filming the video, race to get it edited, put it out there into the universe, rinse and repeat. So today is Wednesday, November 12th. Yes, I did just look at my computer to see the date because that's where we're at. And I am going to show off some of the makes that I've made so far this week before they get priced and packed away to my car, even though after this weekend I do plan to finally unload the car and put everything away and kind of get my life back together, or at least my car back together before my next markets, since my final two markets of the year are both in the first week of December. So I have some time between the end when this market closes on Sunday and my next market, which is midweek, before I need to have the car fully packed and stocked again. And you know what? I kind of miss my car. My kids miss my car. It will be fixed next week. So they're a little bit on edge of the car having been packed for multiple weeks in a row now. So all that to say, even though the stock should be accessible to me next week, why not check in a little bit throughout the week and see what I've been up to? Maybe even get up out of this chair and away from this corner with my lovely blank wall that still has nothing on it. And we'll see. We'll see where the week takes us from here. But let's talk about the things that I have made so far, because I've made some progress. I've made more progress in the early part of this week than I feel like I had been making in weeks prior. So that's good. Let's talk about it. I'm going to start off with this adorable little kitty that I made. I actually started working on this at the market last weekend in Pittsboro, North Carolina. I sold my gray kitty that I had made, and I'm going to put a keychain on it. And it's a little tushy. And I sold the gray one, and I was like, you know what? I really would like to make a blue one, because I know there are breeds of cat that are blue, and I just think it's a fun and pretty color for a cat. So this is my little blue keychain kitty. I plan to make some more of these before this weekend. Especially, sorry about that. My husband walked in the downstairs, and I am not yet comfortable recording in front of any member of my family yet. So, you know, they can totally go online and watch the video, and I'm recording the video to share online. I won't do it if one of them is in earshot. So anyway, back to the kitty, this adorable, cute little blue kitty. I make these in Premier. This is not Premier Just Chenille. This is, now I'm questioning, is it Bernat Velvet? Is it Premier Just Chenille? It's anyone's guess. I use them interchangeably. I have no idea. I know the color is called Smoky Blue, so I think it's Bernat. I'm pretty sure this is Bernat Velvet in Smoky Blue, because I have the Smoky Green and the Pine and a darker blue and oh my God, sorry, a device is making noise and it's distracting me. Yeah, so I think this is Bernat Velvet, Smoky Blue. I use a size 4mm hook with this weight yarn. This is a weight 5 chunky. I use a 4mm hook, and then the accessories are embroidered on, and by accessories I mean things like the eyes, the little nose, the whiskers, and of course the butthole, because you know how I feel about a kitty cat. They gotta have a butthole. So those are all embroidered with scraps. The eyes, the black and the pink, I know are, the black is Premier Just Chenille, I know that one. And the pink is also Bernat Velvet. The white is some Big Twist worsted yarn that I have kicking around for just this purpose. So that's that. I'm gonna put a little keychain on it. I'm gonna make it some buddies, and we're gonna have some more kitties this weekend at the market on the keychains. Similarly, oh, and the pattern for that is by, I have my stuff open this time. So I'm actually going to say pattern designer names. So this is by, brace yourself, because of my pronunciation. Hecklagurian Bumser. I apologize so deeply if that's not correct. I will link down below so that you can click directly to her profile. She makes beautiful, beautiful designs, and this little kitty is her no-sew mini loaf kitty keychain. It's adorable. I have made other designs by her as well. Love it. I'm so sorry that I cannot pronounce the name very well. I always feel bad. The next pattern, or the next make that I have, also something I'm going to be making more of before this weekend. I actually literally just finished this one off, is this puppy keychain to go with the kitties. I have had the kitties for a while. I used to use a DIY Fluffies pattern to make the kitties. Those require sewing. They're so cute. It makes like a little dumpling cat, and then you sew the tail on to the back. And it's adorable, but with the sewing and the price points of keychains in general, because I try to keep them between $6 and $10 for a keychain, depending on how much work goes into that keychain. And I lean more toward the $10 side, but with sewing, in addition to I embroider all of the eyes and the features on, it takes a little bit too long. So I switched over to the loaf kitten pattern, and now I am adding a puppy to the mix. I've never had puppies in my booth before, so this will be a first. This one is by The Girl Who Knots, also a free pattern. I actually saw this on Crochet by Sammy's YouTube channel. She was a pattern tester for this, and she just raved and raved and raved about it, and I saw it and was like, you know what, that is adorable, and yes, I think I need a puppy to go with my kitty. Also on the size 4 hook, size 5 weight 5 chunky yarn. This one is Premier Just Chenille. The colorway is Almond. I had bought this in the cone size to make Dragon Prince dolls, to be honest. I had made my son a bait, characters from the animated show The Dragon Prince. I had made him a bait last Christmas for my daughter to give him as a gift. She commissioned me to make him a bait, which is a little frog guy. He's a glow toad, but it's a frog. And I said, ooh, I should make all of the main characters. And then I never did it. And he's been bugging me about that since. He's like, where are my Dragon Prince characters? And I'm like, yeah, I know, fair. I did say I was making those like a year ago, and here we are. But anyway, this colorway also works really well for puppies. I bought it to be a skin tone, but it works really great for puppies. And it's just so cute. It's no-sew, similar to the loaf kitty, except this one, I like that it's sitting and it's not two loaves next to each other. I do like that about this pattern, that it's a different posture, so it's got a little bit of variety, and it's so dang cute. Much like I feel about buttholes with cats, I feel about tongues with dogs. So I added a tongue when I was embroidering on the features wanted to make it a darker pink tongue, but I couldn't find my darker pink. So I went with the light pink. I will find it for some others, and I'll have a variety of tongue colors, but it's just so cute. And once I get the little keychain on it, it's just going to be so cute, and I love it. So yeah, the Girl Who Knots, very cute. Also free Instagram pattern, so go check that out. Also in my video from last week, I shared that I had started batch making Minecraft creepers. This pattern is on the Epic Yarns blog. I linked it in the video last week. I will link it below in the video this week as well. And I know I talked about possibly trying to embroider the faces instead of crocheting the pieces and sewing them on. And I did, and I think it worked pretty well. I like how the faces came out. I know an actual Minecraft creeper differs a bit in design from this. It's not just a square. It's got the square as the head, and then there's like a rectangle body, and then the feet are attached to that. I also know that the faces touch, but for simplicity and cuteness, because this is way cuter than an actual Minecraft creeper, and legibility of the face as a face and not just a weird black shape on a green square, I leave a little bit of space, and I do that on purpose so that you can see the eyes versus the mouth. I did do 6, so 5 will be coming with me to market, and 1 is a gift for my nephew. So there's another little face, and all the faces came out slightly different, and I love that. I do love that, as opposed to like printing out the original the original pattern uses felt pieces to make the face, and you either glue them on. I haven't gotten into felts for crochet details for a couple of reasons. Number one, I used my silhouette to cut felts one time before. See, aren't they so cute? I love them. These little guys. So cute. So yeah, one's for my nephew. I think I've identified this as my nephew's, and then the rest will go to market. So I've used felt one time on my silhouette, and I found that, number one, I kind of just fell headfirst into using a silhouette. So I did have the felt knife, because I did see you needed a special knife or blade for that. So I did get the blade. I did not get a heavy duty cutting mat. So my mat, I only had one, and my mat got like it wore the mat's stickiness away really quickly, I felt like. A, because it probably wasn't the right mat, and B, because felt is just so, it's got all the fibers. So it's just, I don't love using a silhouette for felt, and I hate hand cutting felts so much. It just hurts. Just the thought of it makes my hand ache. So I haven't gotten into using felt for details. I also have found that I can either embroider or get creative. I just feel like I to find a way to solve the details without having to rely on felt. That said, I also haven't done any patterns where like a Kirby, where the eyes are like super distinctive. I did do Derpy. Derpy has distinctive eyes. However, Derpy, at the end of the day, this one, I show Derpy, I feel like, every video, but this one, my Derpy, because I won't sell him with these embroidered eyes. I started first with a test to embroider the eyes, and then commissioned Christine, What's Up Cupcake Crafts, to make some painted resin safety eyes. And those work really, really well. I love how they turn out. I love the look of Derpy at the end. He's recognizable as the character he is. This is also completely the wrong color, but I like the size of this. So this is the other Bernat Velvet blue that I have, and I like the size of it. He really should be a brighter blue, but I just like how it all comes together, and he's recognizable as the character, but he's not a carbon copy of the character. And I like that. I do like that. Similar with the Minecraft creepers, It feels more inspired by, more in homage, in more fan art than trying to replicate something that could be and is mass produced by the production company. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know. So yeah, I do like when there's a little bit of variances, especially since I'm not entirely always super comfortable having licensed characters in my booth. I try not to have too many licensed characters. But again, if I do, I try to make sure that they're definitely an homage and not exactly, it's a fan art. It's an appreciation for the original source material. I feel like I'm talking myself into a corner and I should just stop talking, probably. Next. So that's that. Those are the 2 keychains that I've made so far this week. I plan to make more of both of them. As far as other keychains go, because I did talk about this last week, that I kind of need more animal keychains. I still have some Poggy. I have a Poggy's Place pack. I should look in there, and I should probably just make, I know there's an elephant. That would be cute. I have gray. That would be really cute. I have gray and blue and pink, and I could make elephants. There's a lioness, which I was going to make the lioness and try to pass it off as a cat before I found this pattern. So that's great. But I could still make the lioness and have it be a lioness, and then I could have both. So I'll play around with that this week, especially since this week is definitely about the smaller makes. The past few markets have really shown me that I need to have a buildup of inventory of the smaller makes, the quick impulsy purchases. These guys have been one of my top sellers throughout the year, so I definitely needed to replenish these. I think 5 is a good number going into this market based on how this market performed last month. Especially if there's a few of the items. I sell these for $15, same price as my Among Us characters, same price as, what else is 15? My sharks. Yeah, so it's a good price point. I like that price point. I think it's fair. Plus they're so cute and they're snuggly. I mean, Burnout Mystical Man, it's just so dang soft. So yeah, I didn't say. I made these in 6mm hook. No, I did not. That is not true. I made these in a 5mm hook because again, I'm a monster with massive tension, loose tension. Burnout Mystical, this is the Spearmint colorway, and then again, the Premier Just Chenille for the embroidery. Love it. Speaking of small A giftable, B impulse makes, I found this adorable snowman pattern on Instagram this week. I'm looking it up. Cute Stuff Crochet. Cute Stuff Crochet released this adorable no-sew snowman, and I just love him. He's perfect. He's perfect size, I think, for a seasonal make. No-sew is great, whips up super fast. It sits nicely, so it could sit on your desk. It could be a small piece of home decor, and it's soft and snuggly because it's in Bernat Baby is my whites. And so it's incredibly soft, super snuggly. Again, I do everything in embroidery, so it's very safe for babies, and the accessories, the scarf and the hat I've sewn on and attached. So nothing is coming off. They can fidget with the little scarf if they'd like, but it's not going anywhere. And I think these are, I love it. I love it so much. And I wanted to do a snowman to help trade out some of the pops that I have. The pops have not been selling for me at all. I have sunflowers, I have gnomes, I have acorns, I have mushrooms. The mushrooms sell. The mushrooms I also make much smaller and put keychains on them. So those sell, but the other pops do not sell. and they're about this big. So I sell them for $10. I think this one, I think the snowman I'll sell for $12. Just because there is a little bit more. If I didn't put the hats on, easy $10. But because I make the hats, I make the baubles, and then I sew the whole thing on, I think $12. And the pattern didn't come with the hat, so I sort of improvised after I made it. I showed it to my kids, and they both said, snowmen always need a hat. And I was like, fair, snowmen always need a hat. So I put a hat on them. And I just think they're so, so cute. Love it. Again, the hats and the scarves, just using up scraps of yarn that I have. I've got some Bernats, whatever these, I don't even know what these are. These flecked, dappled, maybe it's dappled, I don't know. These ones, but they're super cute. I know this colorway is called Jungle Green. I have no idea what the blue is called. And then this one, this bright yellow, I just had some left over from an Amazon yarn pack that I had gotten. It's very soft. It's a little hard to work with, even though it's so soft and squishy. But it's perfect for something like this because my hands, you're done before your hands even realize what's happening. And then this is the Bernat, again, in Merlot. I also have like a bright red that I was going to make. And then I want to, just have, and purple. And I really just want to have like every color of the rainbow. I can't even hold them. Of these little guys. They're just so freaking cute. I love them. I love them, love them, love them. The carrot nose, I used Big Twist. Is it Big Twist? No. Loops and Threads. The Joann's one, because I bought it during my Joann's final, they're going out of business. I ran through the store with a shopping cart, actually 2 separate stores with a shopping cart, and had my own personal supermarket sweep inside of Joann's. So that was fun. So that's all the yarn basically that you're seeing. Most of that was purchased during that frenzied shopping event way back in April. I'm still working through the yarn that I bought back in April, with a few exceptions of things that I've had to replenish just because I go through it so quickly, like the mysticals and the white and the black. But yeah, so I think it's Loops and Threads, the big plushy one in Electric Tangerine. Not that it matters because Joann's has gone out of business long at this point, but that's what that orange carrot nose is. And yeah, so cute. Again, 5mm hook, super bulky yarn. I love them. I love them. I love the size. I debated putting some weighted pellets inside of them, but honestly, I like how light they are. It feels right for a snowman to be light. And if I put weighted pellets in them, I feel like the price point would have to go up. And I don't really want the price point to go up. I kind of like $12. I really want it to be just a cute little, oh, that's adorable purchase. So I like that. My last make, ironically, saying I don't love to lean into licensed characters as I show off licensed characters, but my last make on this entire display of free patterns that I have found on Instagram is by, I'm looking, I don't have this one bookmarked, but I do have it printed next to me. So it's Mari's Stuffies, M-I-R-I-S, or Maris Stuffies, _ S-T-U-F-F-I-E-S, Stuffies. And this is a free pattern. I am absolutely enamored by this. I have had this sitting in my pattern stash, I honestly think, for a really long time. And by a really long time, I mean earlier this year. I'm picking out all the fluff because, of course, I did not do that before I started recording. But look at this dragon. Again, influenced, inspired, fan art dragon. I love him. I love his face. I did do some face shaping, by pulling some yarn up and through around where the eyes were going to go to help make that nose a little bit more pronounced. But honestly, the pattern, as I was making him, the little like points in the front is part of the pattern. It just comes like that naturally. So it's not a round ball like so many other low-sew, no-sew plushies heads are until you get it, like until you do some face shaping. It had the point and then the rest of the shape of the head. How cute is this? The name of the pattern is not called Fury Dragon. I will say that. The name of the pattern, and I have it behind me, which is why I'm awkwardly leaning down. My office is also such a disaster. Storm and Star, the mini Fury Dragon. So she had called a Fury Dragon, but there's two versions in the pattern. The Dark Fury and the Light Fury. The Light Fury, the horns have a different design to them. So you can, it's more than just changing the color of the dragon and making the two tail pieces all one color. But look, and this was the first time I embroidered the eyes in the same weight yarn that I made the plushie in. I usually use, that's not true. This is embroidered in the same weight because it's a size 5. So, but normally when I do the bigger plushies in Bernat, I still embroider the eyes in Premier Bernat Velvet, a size 5 yarn. This time, I really wanted to use the Mystical Spearmint for the eyes because I just thought that they would be perfect. I'm running out of my pine in Bernat's velvet because I've been making snakes for my Wizard House mystery boxes, and that color is one of the colors that I really like to use for the snakes. It's my first choice of colors for the snakes. So I was running out of the Bernat Pine or Bernat Velvet and Pine. So I really wanted to use the Bernat Mysticals. And I love it. The white is still Premier Just Chenille. So it's thinner, but I thought that would work well for the highlight in the eye and just the white around the color, the iris. But look at him. Look how adorable. And he sits up. He's perfectly balanced between that long tail and the head. And it's not too much stuffing, to be honest. So let's talk about construction. You make the tail first, just as one long cone. And then you make you work the body. The feet are baubles worked into the body. And then you crochet in the tail as you're working up. You leave off, you finish off, and then you make the head. So you have to sew on. The head and the wings are made as separate pieces, and those get sewn on. And then you surface crochet to make the tail fins. Look at the shaping, though, on the tail fins. Like, I love how those came out. And honestly, I don't think you could get that kind of shaping by not doing surface crochet. I just don't. I mean, you probably could, but it looks so good and it's so easy, surface crocheted. So I love this guy. Absolutely love him. I haven't decided yet on a price point for this Fury Dragon. I'm thinking 24. I'm thinking 24. There's a little bit of sewing, but most of it is very simple construction. It did not take long to make. It's a nice size. Again, I like this size for this piece. It'd make a great gift. It's a great little gift. It's a great little bookshelf buddy. Just sit up on your shelf. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I do want to make, I like to have odd numbers of things, but honestly, I want to make at least one more black and at least one light dragon. I'm trying not to, I am going to need to get more white and black soon, but I do have one more skein of each, I think. So And between the snowmen and now these, I think white is a hot commodity lately. So, oops, probably just one white, but look at this. I love it. Absolutely love it. So thrilled with how this came out. Excellent pattern. I can't rave about this enough. It was so fun to make, and simple. Fun and simple. The only thing is you're working in black, so you need to be in a very well-lit area to see what you're doing. Your stitches are a little bit invisible if you're working in the dark. So I was able to work on it. These guys are going to be something I have to work on during the day. I won't be able to do it at night when I'm watching TV. I mean, I could, but I'll also frustrate myself. I've got plenty of other things to make though. So how cute is that? I love them. So much. And I love, again, the body shape. It's different. It's not a sploot. It's not sitting up. He's sort of almost in like a Sphinx pose. And I like that. I like it. So yeah. So all right. I'm going to get cracking on some more of the makes that I need to do for this weekend. And I will check back in probably on Friday. I'll probably not check in every day this week unless something super exciting happens tomorrow. So I'll talk to you then. Hey, it is Thursday. I know I said I would probably check in again on Friday, but I wanted to see if I could make a modification to one of the items in my display. I currently have this, I took these, they're tangled. I took these hanging planters out of our storage space for our house, and I have been using them to sort of make what I call the dragon's nest as part of my display at the front of my booth. I put these cloth napkins in them to try to help items from falling through because the holes are quite large. It's intended for those coconut husk planters to go in it. So it really was never going to be a permanent solution. So Maxine, hi. Hello. You want to sit in it? Maybe? I know. It's our baby. Our rescue kitten that we have raised from the tender age of 1 month after she was found in a KFC parking lot. So, come here. Come say hi. Say hi, Maxine. There she is. You're so cute. She gives our adult cat a run for her money. We have two, in fact, female tortie cats, which is a choice. So, as I was saying, the holes in this are quite large, so items fall through. I was hoping to get some kind of cover that would go in here, not the coconut husks, because that would get all over the plushies and that's not good, but I just never did. And as we were unpacking from our remove back in last year, I found these, which we had been using previously for pet toys, but are much smaller mesh baskets that, as you can see, fit the plushies pretty perfectly in them. I have two of these. I only have one out right now because the other one is currently holding all of my office supplies on my desk set up behind me. But what I think will work out, and what I had done previously, is I had stacked these so they hung as 2 tiers. I have 2 of these hanging planters. I just hooked the bottom one into the bar that goes across the bottom, and those hung as like that. I'm thinking we could upgrade the dragon nest, now that I have found these, to these baskets. Now, the chains, I'm also very happy to see the chains clip on and off. So that was what kind of hinged this whole thing, since I wanted to use it for this weekend. And I think this is going to be a much better solution. Shoppers can see as they approach what's in the basket. Part of the issue I had with the prior setup was the basket was hidden by the fabric napkins, which were necessary to prevent items from falling out of the basket all day long. So especially since like the dragons that I put in there are the lovey dragons, which are nice and big. They don't have, well, they do have an issue. I mean, these holes are massive. The lovey dragons, which were falling out, but I also put in the dragon hatchlings, so the little dragons that are in eggs, and baby dragons in general. Look at this. This is going to work perfect. I love this. If I can figure out how to untangle. There we go. Look at that. So that will be my upgrade for this coming weekend and going forward. And I can just fill it up with plushies. And people can see what's inside. And it's a little bit more roomy. And they can sort through it without fear of items falling out. I love it. So, that's it. I'll catch you later. It's now Friday, November 14th. I am 2 days away from market, and I'm prepping. Let me tell you, I am prepping. I have so many things. I can't find my planner, probably because if you could see the area around me, you might have seen it a little bit in my update that I put earlier in the video from yesterday. Like, I am barricaded into this corner by yarn in bags. It was a joke at one point. It is no longer funny. It's funny. So everything is just, I can grab most of the things that I need, and the things that I have to actually get up to go get are the things that I'm making last. But the downside is I have lost my planner in this chaos somewhere. So I don't have a list. Long story short, I have notepads. I'm like looking all over my desk like a squirrel or a dog. Like, here's a squirrel. I thought I saw my planner for a second. Anyway, lots to do. None of it is written down. So we are just trying to crank through what we can crank through ahead of this market, and to get ahead a bit of the holiday markets that I have following that. So what have I been working on? I have been working on building up an inventory of these tiny frogs. I love them. So cute. They don't have eyes or mouths just yet. But the tiny frogs are, they're great. I've made 5 in this green color, which is the fresh green Bernat Mystical. I've now got 3 total of this bright blue because for some reason I don't know. If it's not a green frog, I love the idea of a blue frog. I wish I had like an electric purple and I could make like an electric purple frog. I do have a little bit of this Amazon yarn, but I've already tried to make a frog out of it and there's not enough. So I think I'm going to have to save that for the other thing that I am making today en masse, which are these itty bitty Turk the Turtles. Again, no faces just yet. They even have little tails. So cute, but look how cute these are. I love them. The frogs I sell for $5 at my booth. There's the front. It's hard to tell when the eyes aren't on yet. It's obvious once that face goes on, but until, you just gotta be like, where are those eye bubbles? They're there, but they're so cute. I also want to make the turtles in blue. Right now, this is a combo of the Bernat Mystical in Spearmint, and then the Bernat, I don't know what this, I have it right here. Baby Blanket Dappled. This is the skein. So it like goes from like light to dark and back again. And this is the jungle green colorway. And I love this combo, like love it so much. I'm also gonna make 5 of the turtles, the tiny Turk turtles in this colorway. I have a couple made in this, which is that electric purple Amazon yarn, and then a Bernat variegated, I forget the name of this one. This one has a funky name. I'm not gonna remember it, but it's gonna bother me. Anyway, so I've got some of these. I also wanna do some, I have the dried flowers variegated colorway, which is like a pink coral option with some pink. I also have some Amazon, whoopsies, my bag is just overstuffed. I have some Amazon bright pink or a little bit lighter pink. That would look really, really good with that. And it's also a great way to use up this yarn that I have otherwise been using for flowers. I have done them with turtles, but the skeins are so small that I can only get one out of it if I do a bigger project. But if I use it for these little turtle guys, I will get several out of that colorway. So that is what I've been working on this morning. I'm looking over to my left because I want to say the designer name for Turk the Turtle because he's so dang cute. And this is by Gwenny's Crochet. GWENNIEZ Crochet, all together, one word, lowercase, on Instagram. So this is so cute. I'm loving him. I've had him saved for a while and just haven't focused on the smaller makes like I should. And I'm rectifying that now. So other things on my list for today, I still want to make a couple more Fury Dragons. I have the one. I know those are bigger makes, so I'm prioritizing it after I get through these bitty makes. I also want to make some elephants and put them on keychains, as well as make some more dogs and cats. So I want to have dogs, cats, elephants, and then some octos for the keychains as well. I think that would be a good variety. And last but certainly not least for today's little update, I have some happy mail. I always have to look it up because I've never come prepared. Honestly, Jen, why? Why are you never prepared? So I follow Nicole on Instagram, and her handle is Nicole's Nifty Needling, and she often posts destash of yarn that she no longer wants, and it's at a great price. So I snagged up 4 skeins from her this week, and they shipped out so fast. We settled this on Tuesday. It arrived yesterday. So super fast. Thank you, Nicole. I love it. If you don't follow her, I would. She always posts great destash, and it's good yarn. It's stuff that I buy anyway. So I'm very excited. Opening the package. So first up, I got 2 skeins of Karen cakes in Chimera. I have this colorway. I'm almost out of this colorway, and I was so hoping I had more of this because I love it. This is fantastic I made a backpack out of it with the first skein that I have, but I really want to use this for more water bottle slings, and I want to talk about water bottle slings in a minute. So this will be great for that because the color changes aren't too far apart. I can also, so I can make the granny square and the color change will feel more natural. Or I can just, ball them up into balls of individual color, which is what I did do with the skein to make this one. And I like how that looks. I like how it's all one skein that came from a Karen cake. This one is so loose because this was my first one. That's why it's mine. But the colorway is all one colorway, came in a Karen cake, and I balled up all the colors separately and then used that to make the granny squares. And then I just picked the turquoise because that was the color that there was the most of, and made the base out of that. For this, I might not need to go through that effort, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. It actually worked really well. I didn't do all of that for making the backpack, which also used granny squares, and the color transitions were just, I love it. I haven't sold that backpack, but it's also, I think, the most expensive thing I have in my booth right now. When I get selling online after the market season is over, I'm hoping to list things like that because I think it might reach, well, it would definitely reach a broader audience if it was online. You got to find that right buyer for things at that price point. So anyway, I got 2 skeins of, this isn't a Karen cake. This is Lion Mandala. I don't even know what I bought. Same concept. Anyway, it's Lion brand Mandala in Chimera. Love it. I had bought this previously at Michael's. So glad to have more of them. And then the second thing I bought was a Karen cake. Oh, look how pretty. I love that. Oh, I love it. So this is a cotton acrylic blend from Karen Cakes. It's their Karen Cotton Cakes line. And I love working with this for the, what weight is this? Is this a medium? It is. This is a worsted weight yarn. And it is plied, but the twist that they put in this ply is so tight that it's like working with a single strand. And I just, it's great to work with because I do like to work in worsted weight. I do like to work in cotton and acrylics, but Premier's not bad. Sometimes you get an acrylic or a cotton worsted weight where the twist isn't very tight and the plies separate so easily, and it becomes so frustrating to work with because, as this is an example of one. So like working with this twist does come loose very easily as you're working with it, and it's easy to get your hook caught up in one of these plies, and then you just end up with a couple, you don't end up with the full strand of yarn, you end up with a smaller piece of it, and I don't like that. It slows you down, and you don't want to have it in that because then I feel like the integrity of the final product is compromised because you didn't use the full strand of yarn. So anyway, long rambling way to say, the Karen Cakes, the cotton cakes, the twist is nice and tight. I don't have that issue when I work with this. So, I love it. And this is one, I do know that these are, the color shifts are quite far in between. It doesn't look that far when you look at the cakes. And I got 2 of them. So I will ball these up by color, and I will use those to make either headscarves or more water bottle slings because they're great. Or, I mean, they even work great for like, this color is amazing. I love it. It's called Blue Hawaiian. And this is a great color for like nautical keychains. I could make octos with this. I have another pattern I haven't done yet for a mini shark. I could add shark keychains. So I've got plenty of ideas of how to use this. So very happy mail today because it's came in time for me to play. Ooh, they also have free patterns for this pretty shawl. That's gorgeous. I love that. So it uses 2 balls. And see, patterns like that, you can see the color transition. That's really what it's made for. But if you separate it by the colors and make small balls of it, you can easily make granny squares and have the transitions. So love that. Yay. All right. After this, I am going to go back to being heads down, working through my turtles. I think I'm done with the frogs for right now. Until I get out some other colors, because I do want to add some other colors to the frogs instead of just green and blue. And as well as the turtles, I have to make my fury dragons. I do want to time myself today on making a water bottle sling because I want to firm up the pricing for that. Right now, I sort of just guessed on the pricing, and it's not at a price point that I want it to be at. I'm hoping to get it. I don't want to not charge what it's worth, but at the same time, considering what the item is, I would like to make sure that I'm making something that is at a price point that will sell, if that makes sense. So right now I have this style in my booth priced at $35. I would love to get that down to $25 because I think that's a more reasonable price point for this item. I mean, a $15, $25 water bottle sling, I probably wouldn't think twice about. If you're talking $35 or $45 for like the dragon scale one that I have, I think then you're starting to price yourself out of what most people are comfortable with, including myself. So I want to time myself today, see how that goes, because I've made 2 in that style, 1 in the dragon scale style, and I made them all over the summer. So it's been a while. That's not true. I made the second one a week and a half ago, but I didn't time myself. I was just sitting there watching TV, I wasn't really paying attention. So that's on tap for today. Luckily, I also have tomorrow to finalize prep before the market on Sunday. I've got my baskets I have to empty out still so I can put the chains on it and upgrade my basket, my dragon's nest display. I've got all the pricing to do. I've got faces to put on. I've got to get to work. So I will chat with you later. Oh God, I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll see. I could just hold it and be somewhat normal. Hi, so we're here at the foodie fair. I had hoped to get some footage this morning of the pack up and well, not really the pack up because the car was pretty much packed, but the mayhem and the chaos that was happening, but it was a little bit too much. So I decided in the 11th hour to take the mochi axolotls out of the mystery boxes because they're so much cuter in person. So I have those displayed. I also packed up all of the makes that I had made this past week. I got to the venue this morning and got set up. My husband was nice enough to come and help me out down here. And the chaos, the mystery box just jumped. I'll be back. So I don't have to hold it like a weirdo in my tent. So my husband came and he helped me set up, which was amazing. But I realized once I got here, I forgot my upgraded hanging baskets. They were left at home on the floor of my office, and the key to my cash box. So we're just a hot mess here today, but it's beautiful. The sun is shining. There's lots of kids out playing. People are walking around. So we're gonna look ahead to a good day. And we're back in front of the blank wall. So yesterday was my second foodie fair. It was a super nice day, super gorgeous weather in terms of the temperature. It was like 75 degrees. The sun was actually a little bit hot at one point, but I mean, I'll take it because winter is coming and I hate the winter. So that was great. It was blustery as all get out. There were quite a few vendors that were struggling with the wind. Luckily, my setup didn't fare too horribly. I had zip tied my standing pegboard to my tent, and I had zip tied the mirror up above it so that all the hats and bandanas and ear warmers and basically wearable accessories were displayed in one place, and then the mirror was right there. I need to get some reusable zip ties because that's definitely going to be the setup going forward. I've done that at the past several events where I zip tie the pegboard to the tent leg, and then just adding the mirror there makes sense, especially since if that's where I'm going to put the wearable accessories, which for these winter markets, I definitely am. So that was good. My standing shelf, a few things were blown off from time to time. Oh, my Christmas tree suffered the most. I mean, luckily, as I say, it's all crochet. Crochet is not breakable, so that's a good thing. Unfortunately, one of my neighbors did, I think, experience, she said, she had mentioned at one point that she thinks she had more in damaged product from the wind than product sold at the market, which is awful. I felt really bad about that. And they were the sweetest neighbors. I believe, oh, I meant to look them up. I believe their name was Live Love Daily. And I want to give them a shout out because I was a hot mess when I showed up at this market yesterday. As you saw in my check-in at the day, forgot my keys. There they are. To my lockbox, so I had no access to my change, and I forgot my hanging baskets that I had shown off earlier in this video in preparation. So I was kind of stressing. They were the sweetest though. They let me make change. I only did it one time during the day, and then everybody else, like, I just kind of said, like, somebody asked, do you accept cash? I was like, yes. I'm like, exact change is preferred because I forgot my lockbox key and I have to go next door to make change. I'm like, that's probably way more information than you need, but they were sweet and they gave me exact change. So based on that, and the one time I did have to break change with my neighbors, I had enough to make change with the other cash purchases that were made. So that was really good. The vendor across the way from me, like, she was bracing herself against her setup all day. Like, she had standing pegboards on her table, and I did too, but for some reason the wind wasn't hitting mine. I think it's because of the angle I had it set up at, versus, yeah, I just think I got lucky with the way it was set up. Plus my neighbor had some shelves, and so I think that kind of helped block it from the wind. So my pegboard was fine. Like I said, the tree kept getting knocked over and some plushies off of the standing shelving units because the mystery boxes were jumping off the shelves, and not in the way I had hoped. They were jumping off, they were literally flying off the shelves from the wind, not from being purchased. But the poor neighbor across from me, she was bracing against her display all day. It was rough. So that was a thing. There's nothing you can do about the weather. I mean, everybody had the weights. We did the best we could. So that was a little bit tough, but we all were like, I mean, can't do anything about it. The neighbor on the other side, Carolina Comforts. She hand sewed dog and cat beds and bandanas, and I had to pick up one for our puppy. Hi, puppy. Can we show off your new bandana? Look how pretty. Oh, it's perfect. So pretty. Such a pretty puppy. Hi, girly. Coco, can I see? Can I see? Oh, there she is. So cute. So yeah, she was really nice. Her stuff kept flying everywhere. I had helped her at some point pick up her rack that had fallen over. Other vendors like all chimed in, were like, I have zip ties, I have bungee cord, I have Velcro strips. Like, everybody was like, we've got you. We can get your stuff braced. So that was good. But yeah, I had to go over later in the day and buy a bandana for Coco Puff because her stuff was so cute. She had Deadpool, which I was so tempted to get a Deadpool, but I had originally gone over to get the one for Coco Puff because I saw the arrows on it. And our cats are named after pop culture. So our older cat, Katniss, is named for Katniss Everdeen of the Hunger Games. And I was like, oh, that would be so perfect to have like arrows on Katniss, but it came in dog size. It wasn't a cat one. All of our cat ones were like cat themed as well. So I was like, that's okay. It's also a camping bandana. It's perfect for Coco. We camp, we take her camping. But then I was talking to her and I was like, do you happen to have any Stranger Things? And she said she didn't, but she'll take a look because how adorable would that be to put little baby kitten Maxine in a Stranger Things bandana, because she was named after Max on Stranger Things. So I think that would be cute. Anyways, so that's the markets. Yeah, it was, then there was the end of the markets. We're all getting ready to pack up. Everybody around me started packing up about a half hour early. I waited it out. I wonder if they knew something that I didn't, though, because I regretted waiting it out, because right at 3:00, a protest arrived where our booths were set up. So we had to finish breakdown, and for me, do all of breakdown in the middle of a protest, which all for speaking out and speaking up about. I fully support. However, as a vendor, it was nerve-wracking. So again, did the best we could. I put all my stuff, I stacked all my stuff with my neighbors next to mine, with the makers, the organizers, tent stuff. We just piled all our stuff kind of together, because more people going around it, I just felt it was safer. And then I just had to take my stuff, again, priority of what I'm okay with being stolen and what I'm not. And you can't take all the product at one time at this point. I have too much product to move all at once. So it had to go in order of priority. It had to, the most I could take at once. The mystery boxes I left, nothing was stolen. Everything was fine. It was just a very high stress pack up situation because we were in the middle of a protest. I don't know if the other vendors knew that that was going to happen, or if they were packing up because the day had been not slow in terms of foot traffic, slow in terms of sales. And I think it was true for everybody across the board. At one point, the organizer had come over and asked, how did the day go? And I said, it was okay. And she said, how was business? And I said, it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was, honestly, it was better than the last time that I was at this venue, which is awesome. I was really happy about that. At the end of the day, this is not the right venue for my business, and I know that, and that's okay. I'm glad that I tried it. I'm glad that I went, because I would always wonder, it being in a central location downtown Raleigh, if I didn't do it, I would be kicking myself. So I'm very happy that I went. I'm glad I gave it the 2 shots I did. I will not be going back to this venue, but that's okay. It's okay. I did leave behind one of the caster wheels for my craft cart. I had seen it in the middle of my booth setup while I was packing up, and I was like, what is that? And I checked my standing shelving unit, because that also has caster wheels on the bottom, and it didn't go to that. And I had already wheeled my cart back to the car, and I had been carrying the cart and pulling my wagon behind me, and I had to cross the street, and I had a lot of stuff. So I didn't think the issues, it was challenging to pull the cart. I ended up picking it up, but I thought it was just that it wasn't locked into place. So I thought, that's weird. Maybe I should grab that wheel just in case. But then by the end, I just wanted to get out of there. So I was like, it's not my wheel. It is my wheel. So I'm going to have to go pick up a new wheel for my cart, because I definitely left it there. That's okay. I'm going to say that's okay a lot in this recap. It's just with how the day started and me, it's all me being the hottest of messes. I left my hanging baskets. I left my keys. I left a wheel behind. It's just, I was a little frazzled yesterday. Not during the market. During the market was lovely. So let's get into during the markets. Like I said, it was better in sales than the prior time at this venue had been. It was better in sales than the other market that I had done the Sip and Shop in Pittsburgh had been. So this was good. This was the best market of November. Not all of my vendor fees have been covered by other markets this season for this year. Everything is pure profit. So I'm never going to be upset about showing up at a market because it's money I would have not made had I stayed home. So that's good. Total sales yesterday were, sales were $324.30. Total collected, yeah, $324.30 was total collected. That's 13 transactions. Lucky number 13. 121 of that was in cash. Pretty good for not having access to my cash box. $203.30 on the card. $6.18 were paid in payment processing fees, and $13.30 were paid in taxes and fees. That brings my net total to $311 for the day. So, not a bad day, to be honest. Not a bad day at all. Items that sold, things were busiest at the start of the market, and so around, before the market even started, actually. My first sales, the market went from 11 to 3. My first sales were in the 10 o'clock hour as I was still setting up. So that was interesting. Pretty quiet for the duration until about 2 o'clock. Things really picked up around 2 o'clock relatively, and then the last hour, or the remaining 2 to 3 was quiet. So I didn't want to break down early because my last few markets, I've had that late in the market sale, the last 15 minutes or so, or even like 15 minutes after the market has ended. So I didn't want to break down too early, but given that every single vendor around me was breaking down, it was definitely sending the signal that the fair is over. So I probably could have safely, but I decided not to, and that's okay. Took me about an hour to fully break down. That includes carrying all my stuff across the street where I was parked. So we were in the park. I had to exit the park, go across the street, load things into my car, go back. I did learn how to prioritize things and pack it in the car in a way where I wouldn't have to unpack and then repack everything when the lesser priority stuff showed up. So that was good. That was a good net from the NetLearn, whatever. I don't know how to talk today. From the Sip and Shop the week before. So packing the car felt a lot less chaotic, which was great. All right, what sold? I sold one pair of ear warmers to a friend of mine. She stopped by with her daughter, which was amazing. Honestly, whole reason this market went better than the others this month is because she stopped by, because she bought the ear warmers and the giant axolotl for her niece. I can't believe, I was debating naming him because he was my booth buddy and he has been with me since the beginning. And now I'm already like, do I make another one? Do I need to make a new giant axolotl? Because I feel like, what is my booth without the giant axolotl? But I'm so happy that he found a home and that her niece is going to receive this big pillow-sized axolotl. So I'm so happy about that. Huzzah. And then her daughter bought 2 fury dragons, one for herself and one for her friend. So that was very sweet. I love that. Those fury dragons, I just made them in this past week, sold out of them. So they were 100% a good make to add to my booth, 100% going to be making a whole bunch more of them before my next 2 markets, which are definitely holiday themed. So that was really good. So still starting at the top, we sold a pair of ear warmers. My mushroom AirPod case also sold. This was a little miniature backpack style AirPod case with a keychain attached to it, and you can stick your AirPods or earbuds or coins or whatever little things you don't want lost at the bottom of your purse to it. That sold. I was very happy about that. The giant axolotl. Can't believe that I still can't believe that that one found his home. My second keychain. Oh, so I should be saying patterns. I'll link them below. I can't remember. I didn't prepare again. My mini chunky chicken plush keychain sold. My Derpy tiger. I know that one's Leilu's Crochet Shop pattern. I had made him in time for the prior market and he hadn't sold. And this market, he was one of the 2 items that sold before the market even started was Derpy. And my friend's daughter had asked if I had him when they came later in it. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Derpy sold actually before the market even started. But I did stop by What's Up Cupcake Crafts last night. I had to reclaim my child who was hanging out with hers. And I did pick up some more Derpy hand-painted eyes from her. So I have Derpies in my future. Let's see. I'm pulling them out so I can show you the different sizes because I not only got my regular 25 millimeter eyes, which goes on my medium-sized Derpy, this size. She had some big, I think these are 40s, massive 40s, 45, I don't know, big ones, because I have this perfect bright blue burnout blanket yarn that I have been wanting to desperately make a big Derpy for. I just didn't have the eyes. So now I will have the eyes and the yarn to make a big Derpy. So maybe I don't need a giant axolotl. I'm gonna have a giant Derpy. That's exciting. So Derpy sold, 1 flying dragon plush sold. That is the I messed it up in the last video. The designer's name. I have such a Avalon Crochet. Avalon Crochet's flying dragon plush. My 3 Fury Dragons all sold. That is the free pattern Storm and Star from Maris_Stuffies. I sold 2 Pocket Dragons. That one is the... Why am I blanking today? Why am I blanking? I had it. I almost just said it for the other dragon, the flying dragon. So let me see. I'm gonna look it up because you know what? I just don't want to not represent designers. They work hard and they're lovely. There they are. AR Serendipity. AR Serendipity Designs. So I sold 2 of those. Those usually do pretty well. I have the small pocket dragon size. I have the snuggler dragon size, and they all get attention. But 2 pocket dragons sold yesterday, which was awesome. I sold 1 snowman plush. That was also a free Instagram pattern from Cute Stuff Crochet. Little free pattern for snowman. I added hats to mine. The pattern didn't have hats. It had a scarf and then just said you could embellish however you want. So I chose to embellish with little beanies. Those sold. Honestly, I felt vindicated with the one that sold because I had made a rainbow of colors. But the first one that I had made was in the Merlot red, which is sort of a muted wine color. And then I had seen my vibrant red and I was like, oh, I really should have made vibrant red because, you know, Christmas. So I made both. I made the Merlot and I made the vibrant red, and then I made a yellow, a blue, and a green. And the one that sold was the Merlot. So I felt vindicated because that was the first color that I had made for the hats, because I was like, this color is so pretty. This would look good as a snowman hat. And you know what? It sold. So something about the universe was speaking to me that day. I sold 1 spider plush, 1 sunflower sea turtle. Spider plush is the Charlotte pattern from Amy's Crafty Corner and Vanilla Garumi. And then the, what was the next thing that I said? The sunflower sea turtle is Passionate Crafters pattern. I sold one mini Turk the Turtle. That's another free Instagram pattern. Very cute. I had it saved forever and ever and ever. And I finally like really leaned in this past week and made 10 of them. And one sold. But I mean, I feel like with more kids at market, since I have them at a $5 price point, that they will sell. And that is from Gwenny's Crochet. And the last thing that I sold was a wolf, which is the Ginger the Fox, Timber the Wolf pattern from the Cozy Buckeye. So that also sold with Derpy before the beginning of the market. And those are the sales from this time. So again, I'm very pleased with the items that sold. Very, very pleased. I met so many lovely people. One woman was showing me, she came in and she's like, if you need help, I didn't crochet. And then she and I ended up talking and she was showing me stuff that she had made previously on her phone, and it was beautiful. She also does amigurumi in worsted weight held double with like a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, she said. And I was like, oh my goodness, your hands. But beautiful. And she makes them big. Like, that's why she doubles, because she makes them big. Gorgeous. She showed me a unicorn that she had made, and it was so impressive. Yeah, so met some lovely people, got to talk with them, and it was all in all a good day. Yeah, so my next markets are in December. I now have the rest of November off to decompress, get ahead of my own holiday shopping, and prep for the next markets. So next week's video will be more of a prep. I'll probably include more footage of me possibly making things, maybe embroidering some eyes on, maybe installing some eyes into some Derpies. Who knows? I have to place a yarn order because I'm getting to the point where I can't ignore any longer the fact that I don't have certain colors and certain sizes, especially if I'm going to be making more Derpies. This is the wrong color for a Derpy tiger. He needs to be a brighter blue. So I really need a chunky weight yarn in a brighter blue color, so that way I can make him look a little bit more like the glowing, vibrant blue that he is recognizable for. I'm glad I picked up that extra burnout this week. I have been telling myself I'm done with burnout. My wrist can't take it. But then I walk into Walmart and they have smoky green and black. And I'm like, well, I can never say no to smoky green and black. And the smoky green felt like mysticals. Like, it was so soft. And so I was like, this is actually going to be a joy to crochet with, so I can't say no. So I'm glad I did that because I have Fury Dragons to make. It's gonna be a busy few weeks, so I am going to make some lists. I'm going to clean up my desk area because it's I've been at markets for the past 3 weekends, state of absolute chaos. And yeah, and I will check in with you next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for checking out this market recap video. If you like what you see, you want more content, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you next week.